what does spa yoga mean? And that's a great question. Spa yoga, as some of you already know, is my idea of what it's like to go to the spa with the combination of yoga, which means it's very, very relaxing and you don't have to do much. So this is a yoga class that resembles a day at the spa. Right? And it's also a lot cheaper than going to the spa. So let's do some spa yoga. You don't need to wear any fancy clothes. All you need is yourself, maybe a bit of water, maybe a bit of music. I love this already. Good. I love it too because it's my favorite kind of yoga. Yes, spa yoga. Spa yoga is also my response to years of doing yoga and power yoga in a specific way. And so it's a practice that is maybe a little more therapeutic, a little more passive. Yep, you can do it with tea. You can do spa yoga with coffee. We're just trying to kind of ease out, open some of the joints. So if you're a runner or you do a lot of Pilates or you do a lot of HIIT classes, this will help to balance that out. Okay, everybody. Love you. Hi. Thanks for coming. Let's start spa yoga at your own personal spa in your own home, lying on our backs. This is how we always start class. So come on to lie on your back, which I'm sure you already figured we'd be doing, is lying on our backs. And once you're on your back, you can choose to either have your feet flat on the ground and your legs bent, or you can have the soles of your feet together and your knees bent wide open. I'm gonna choose feet flat, legs bent. I went for a nice run yesterday and I just wanna give my low back a little more space, so I'll keep my feet on the ground. And then from here, you could have both hands on your low belly, or you could have a hand up on your chest. Let's take a deep inhale together and say, I'd love to add a little bit more sound, so just think that collectively we're all breathing and making noise together, even though you might be alone. So big inhale. Do that one more time with sound. Inhale. And it's, interesting to note how making noise like that can affect your system. When we create noise, we actually stimulate the vagus nerve, and it can help to activate the parasympathetic. So literally singing, chanting, audible sighing can help calm the system down, and we all really need that right now. Breathe in this lovely air that we're able to breathe in and out. And think about something you're thankful for today. And just breathe into that sense of gratitude for a couple more breaths. And the more we reflect upon gratitude, it literally grows. And you can just stay here lying on your back for the whole practice. This is part of spa yoga. You do what feels most soothing for yourself. If you'd like to move with me, bring one knee in and bring your other knee in and wrap your arms around your shins, maybe a little rock side to side. Let your breath be deep. And then just keep your right knee in, extend your left leg onto the floor, or your left foot could be flat and your left leg bent, or left leg down. With your fingers laced around your right shin, hug your right thigh into your right abdomen. Shoulder blades press down. 3 deep breaths here. I'm so excited that I get to do spa yoga with all of you today. So excited to do this practice with you. Okay, and then from there, right leg straight up. Lace your fingers behind your right hamstrings. Give a little bit of resistance. So as your hands pull your leg towards you, resist and press your leg into your hands. Draw your navel in, hug your inner thighs. And what I love to do here is to slowly circle the ankle in both directions so that your leg is static. You're just isolating your ankle and you get into some interesting stuff in the lower leg here. And then rebend your knee and twist it all the way across your body with maybe your left hand on top of your outer right thigh, and you can look up, or you could look away from your bent knee. There is a tendency for the right shoulder blade to lift, so press your upper back into the floor, ground your right shoulder blade. And just work with controlled, mindful breath in and out of your nose. And sometimes I like to think to myself that every time I take a deep breath, I'm saying to my body, hello, body, or hello, twist, with every breath. It's a really playful, curious hello. And take your time to untwist yourself. Align your hips into the middle. With bent legs, your feet flat. A deep breath right here. Now hug your left knee in, and your right leg can be straight on the floor, or again, right leg bent, right foot flat. Keep your feet flexed. And with each breath out, draw your left thigh in, maybe a little further. Extend your leg up as you're ready. Oh yeah. And start to circle your ankle slowly in both directions, maybe thinking, hello, ankle, or hello, shin bone muscles, or hello, hamstrings. Draw your knee in and twist your left knee all the way across. And without forcing it, without struggle, enjoy your breath in and out, conscious of every single breath that you're taking. And conscious that with you, many others are breathing right now. Many others are twisting with you right now. Come on back to center. A breath to just, again, settle. There's no rush right now. There's no hurry. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh for thread the needles. So right hand can come through the window of your legs. But of course, if it's not going to work to interlace your fingers, then left foot simply stays on the earth and you breathe here. With your feet flexed, especially your right foot, toes flex back to shin. Tailbone lengthening into the floor, maybe little tipping side to side on the hips. In order to find the area with most sensation, maybe it's a little more towards your left hip. And let your breath soak through your entire hip, all around your hip. Giving your body love and care with every breath in and out. And now keep the shape of your legs, but release your hands if they were clasped, and just plant your left foot flat so you still have a number 4 shape in your legs. Move your hips to the right an inch or two and take the whole shape of your legs over to the left. So rather than an eagle twist, you still have your right knee pointing up to the ceiling. Use your left hand around the front of your right ankle, clasp there, so your right foot doesn't move, and reach your right arm back behind you in space. As though you're going to bring your right bum down, work your top knee away from you and breathe out into your entire right side. Feel your right arm reach back straighter and longer. One more big breath. Take your time to untangle yourself so that we can take thread the needle on the other side. So once you've crossed your left ankle in front, your other foot can stay on the floor or lace your fingers. So one side usually feels different, and just kind of be mindful of that without judgment and with even more breath. Hello, hip. Feel softness around your jaw, softness around your shoulders and your chest. We've got one more breath. So good, everyone. And then your right foot comes down. Keeping the legs, just scooch your hips to the left an inch and tip your legs all the way to the right. Reach your left arm back in space. Keep your left foot stamping down and work your top knee away from you. For me, I feel this a lot around my outer left hip here, but for you, you might feel it more up your left side or on the front of your hip. The trick is to be mindful of where you need to breathe, not about how it should feel. Right, 2 more breaths here. And slowly untwisting, take your time. And then option 1 is to take your knees in and really wide apart, and hands hold your knees. Or if you'd like to go a bit further, happy baby. Feet flexed up to the ceiling or the sky. And I always love to rock side to side, but really slowly. Sometimes I take even 1 or 2 breaths, tipping to one side. And then 1 or 2 breaths over to the other side. Just want you to make it feel good. When you open your inner thighs like this, it's a nice decompression for the low back. So yes, breathe lower into your pelvis, but envision your breath around your low back as well. Toes spread apart. Take 2 or 3 more breaths. I'm going to take a big cleansing breath through my mouth. If you want to join, come with me. One more. Okay. Roll to one side. Press up to sitting. All right. Thanks for being with me. Namaste. Just joking, class is not over yet. Okay, we're getting to the good stuff. So we'll start doing some little undulations for the low back. So just circling forward and rounding back. Go at any pace that you like here. Again, so nice for the low back here. We find that almost every single pose that we do in yoga affects and impacts the spine in some way. We're creating more health and vitality along the entire channel of the spine. Going in the other direction if you haven't already. Coming to stillness, place your fingers in front of you, flip your palms forward, reach your arms up overhead, and maybe lift your chin, inhaling. And then as you exhale, round your back with your arms just parallel to the floor, maybe a little bit lower. And do that again. Inhale your arms up, lift your chest, and exhale to round, really lean back. Hug your navel in, round in. Again, up. Exhale, round. Cinch the front body in. 2 more times. Up. And round, as though your shoulders are unplugging from the sockets. 1 more. Up. And round. And now land your hands on your knees and sit up. But of course, if it's not best for you to sit cross-legged, you can also have your legs straight out in front of you. Make yourself comfortable. You're at the spa. Have a good time. Sitting up nice and tall, walk your left fingertips to the left and reach your right arm up. Little side bend in the opposite direction. Take both shoulders away from your ears, so your neck is long, and your chin off your chest. With your right sitting bone grounded, little turn towards the right. 3 more breaths. Stretch your top arms straighter. Gather your navel in and rise up. And now let's go to the other side. Going up and over. Yeah, so good. Feel a slight arc in your upper spine. Broaden your chest and maybe turn your head to look to the right a little bit. Excuse me, to look to the left a little bit. And breathe into all those little muscles between your left ribs. With your seat rooted, rise slowly back up. Lift your upper chest, take your shoulders back, and start to circle your head in one direction slowly. Our neck is comprised of many layers of thin muscles. So just go really slow. The muscles are quite strong because there are so many layers of them, but they're also pretty vulnerable. Go slow for the neck and go in the other direction as well. And now take your hands and interlace your fingers behind your back. Lift your chest. And just for a couple breaths, lift your laced fingers up and away from the floor behind you. Lift your chest, but focus more on lifting through your hands. And breathe up into your collarbones. And then I'll get you to keep your hands laced and wrap your fist just around your left hip and maybe in the front of your left hip. And keeping that, lift your chest and tip your left ear over to your left shoulder as well. Shoulders draw down and we're breathing into the right side of the neck. Perhaps lift your chin an inch, or perhaps turn your chin down to your left armpit a little and find the spot in the neck that needs it. Notice how your breath is. It's never about perfection, it's always about being mindful. Final full breath. Hello, neck. As you look down, tuck your chin down, gently release your hands onto your thighs or your knees and lift your head slowly upright. Take your hands behind and interlace your hands behind your low back. Lift your chest and pull your laced hands up away from the floor. And now wrap your laced hands or your fist around the right hip to any degree that you can, and tilt your head in that same direction as well. Observing what's happening on this side with as much breath as you can. Perhaps tip your head back a little or tuck your chin down a little bit. Do what feels easeful for you and for your neck. 2 more deep breaths. Slowly roll your chin down to your chest and hands can come onto your thighs. Slowly your head lifts and take the soles of your feet together. And bow over your legs in some variation of bound angle pose. So if you would like to keep it more active, you could. The long spine leading with your chest. Or go ahead and round your back and let your head hang. Again, the real focus is on how your breath is. And what's your mindset, towards your hips right now? Towards this amazing body that you have. See if you can surrender even further into your pose, soften your entire body a little further for 2 or 3 more breaths. Letting go of doing it right or being perfect. Big breath. And again, you can remain in this pose for as long as you'd like, because I know how amazing it is to just take time in a pose. If you're gonna move with me, slowly rising, lift your spine, guide your knees back together. You can just kind of shift your legs back to one side and come onto your hands and your knees. And take your knees quite wide apart. So by quite wide, I mean take your knees about shoulder width, so almost mat width, forearms on the ground. Oh, there's some lovely sunlight today for me anyway in Vancouver. And then walk your forearms out in front for heart pose. Forehead might be down on the ground. Have your hips high up over your knees. And what I love to do here is bring my hands into prayer, my palms together, and I bend my arms and work the prayer fingers to point up to the ceiling. And continue breathing here for your triceps and breathe all around your armpits. Dig your elbows into the earth and let your hips pull back and up even higher. Lower your hands to your mat and come on up onto your hands and your knees. I'm just going to move my mat a little bit here. So once you're on your hands and your knees, splay your fingers apart. And let's take cat-cows. So on the inhale, chest up. On the exhale, round in. Inhale, soften your stomach down, lift your chin, and as you exhale, round. Keep going at your own pace. I always love to hold each position for a few extra breaths. You can keep flowing. Do what feels really good. Breathe in a way that feels really good. Okay, one more round. And then finding a neutral spine, so your hands are flat, fingers spread apart. Lift your right leg up in the air behind you and crisscross your right foot so it's actually off your mat to the left. So you're on the ball of your foot, and then walk your right hand forward about, well, you could say 2 to 5 inches, right hand forward. Look over your left shoulder. Try to see your right foot. Look over your shoulder and push your right hand forward. And hunch your right shoulder forward to your right ear. We're really opening up the whole right side here. Let's give you a front view. Three deep breaths. And then land your right knee on the mat and take your right hand flat. And let's do the other side. Lift your left leg, crisscross your left foot off to the opposite side. Walk your left hand forward. Look over your right shoulder, and again, your left shoulder hunches forward. Aren't we all happy that we're at the spa today, doing some spa yogs? Super fun. One more deep breath. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so come on to hands and knees for a personal favorite, I'm sure of everyone, child's pose. With your arms outstretched, forehead on the mat or forehead on some kind of a cushion or a block if you'd prefer. And just see if you can let go with each exhale. Let your body grow heavier and heavier with each exhale. This is always a great pose to come to when you'd like to reflect and when you'd like to remember some of the blessings in your life, or if you'd like to remember an intention that you have. Bowing in this way and listening to the breath as it rebounds off the mat is a great way to remember. It's a great place from which we can remember. I always invite you to stay in child's pose a little bit longer. If you'd like to move with me now, we're going to come up onto hands and knees. And we're going to step the left foot forward. Why does it always have to be right foot first? Hey, left foot forward, outside your left hand, so that your left foot is wide at the left side of your mat. And with your right hand on the floor, lift your left arm up and bend your left arm, place your hand behind your head. So we're just gonna do a little bit more for the shoulders and the upper back. So it's like a little arcing of the chest as you inhale, lean back. And as you exhale, bring your left elbow just inside your left knee and look towards your belly button. Do that again, inhale, open it up. And then exhale, tuck in and puff your upper back up. 2 more times. Enjoy your breath. Then open, extend your left arm straight up. And just circle your arm back, down outside your foot, your arm forward and way up. Couple big circles with your left arm. And eventually, place your hands inside your left foot for lizard pose. So I know that many of you are familiar with lizard pose, but I'll just remind you that staying up on your hands is excellent. Or bending your arms, chest dips low, or elbows down on props if you have any, or elbows down on your mat. And again, I'm a firm believer at this point in my practice. I know it'll change, but I'm a firm believer now that mindful movement is great. So a little bit of swaying maybe in the pose, hips side to side, or forward and back. Keeping your breath deep. Final big breath here in lizard. Rise up to your hands if you came any lower, and simply going to tabletop for a few cat-cows. Again, give your spine space, super therapeutic for the spine, simply arcing and rounding like this. Return your spine to neutral, and now right foot steps outside your right hand. I'll just give you another angle here. So right foot outside right hand. Again, we're going quite wide with the foot. And walk your left hand a little to the left, reach your right arm up and bend your arm, hand behind your head. Inhale, spiral your chest up to the ceiling, and exhale, round in. Keep going. Two more times. Nice, great, so good. Right arm up. Exhale, circle back and down. So we're still in this lunge, just a little more for the right shoulder. Forward, way up. Of course, you'll listen to what the rotator cuff can handle, and that's how big the circles will be. No hurry to line up your hands inside your foot and find the depth of your lizard that you did on the other side. So just matching what you did on the other side. Little mindful movements are great. Whatever helps you to be mindful and attuned to your body, right? It's all good. Just so long as there's never any strain or pulling or overexertion in spa yoga anyways. We never push it in spa yoga. Good. 2 more breaths. Okay, come on up to your hands. and go to hands and knees. And now I'm going to recommend a downward facing dog because it's a great way to get into the Achilles. But if you'd prefer to take child's pose, again, child's pose, or maybe a down dog, and pedal out your heels side to side. Some people call it walking the dog. Push strongly into your hands and all your fingers. I'm just going to keep pedaling out my heels. I love this. This is such an effective way to stretch the calves and the Achilles. It's challenging to do so otherwise in a lot of other yoga poses, but this is a great one for it. So just 2 or 3 more breaths. Hello, calves. Hello, Achilles. And we'll meet in a standing forward fold. So anywhere on your mat, folding down your legs, have your feet hip width apart or maybe a touch wider. And a good bend in both your knees. Fingers can be down or ragdoll, grab opposite elbows, or maybe clasp your hands at the back of your neck for a really gentle neck tractioning. But above all, really let your head hang, let your neck go. So in this fold here, as you cinch in your waistline and feel a lift through your low abdomen, imagine that you're breathing more fully across your back and you're breathing down your hamstrings. For our final few breaths, maybe switch up your arm variation if you'd like to interlace your fingers behind your back, or if you'd like to wrap your forearms behind your calves, or any other arm variation. Go for it. And now with your hands on the floor, walk your feet really wide, but not just for Malasana, but way wider. We're going to take a yogic squat before we transition to the floor, but it's more of a goddess squat, so quite a wide stance. And have your toes turning out in the same direction as your knees, so not quite full turnout, and your ankles underneath your knees. And then maybe rocking side to side, press your knees wide apart. Can you work your knees even wider open and maybe your butt a little lower? Good, yes. Hello, inner thighs. Okay, let's do a big cleansing breath together. One more with me. Okay, lower your fingers. Just take a fold here with your legs still wide, bow down, but have your feet parallel and quite wide apart. Let the weight of your skull hang down and take a couple breaths bowing in. And you can make this forward fold your own. So we're here for 8 breaths. If you'd like to do little side squats, you can do little side squats, or just continue bowing in stillness. Walk your feet together and bend your legs. Sit down on your bum. Come all the way down onto your bum. So again, option to have your legs crossed or legs straight out in front of you. Just a tiny bit more for the shoulders and the neck before we lie down again. Lengthen up through your spine. And wrap your right arm under your left arm for eagle arms. And gently lifting your elbows an inch or two and drawing your elbows down an inch or two. Then go a little bit higher and stay up through the elbows with your forearms away from your nose for 3 or 4 big breaths across your upper back. Keep your eagle arms, but bring your elbows a little lower. And a few breaths here. Option to keep your head upright or tip your head to the right for a big breath. Just a little more into the neck maybe, and then slowly lift your head and go to the other side for a deep breath. Through center, untangle your arms up into a cactus shape. Palms face forward, spread your fingers. Soften your front ribs in and take your elbows back and an inch higher. Big breath. Arc your upper chest, lift your heart, elbows back, big breath. Eagle arms on the other side. Left elbow under, or whatever side you didn't do. And lift your elbows up and down. Just slide up and down once or twice. And then we'll meet with the elbows higher. Even though you're lifting your elbows, drop your shoulders down so the neck is long. Squeeze of your elbows, squeeze of your hands, a deep breath. And then your elbows can come lower now. And you'll either remain still through the neck and the head or head to one side for a big breath. As slowly as you can, lift your head and go to the other side for a big breath. Gently lift your head. Cactus your arms wide open at your sides, keeping them bent. And with your belly zipping in, little lift through the heart. Elbows back. Lift your elbows an inch. See if that gets you a little deeper into pec major, pec minor, if you feel something a little more. So good. And then release your arms down, your hands on your knees, or maybe a hand on your upper chest. If you do have a hand on your chest, feel your heartbeat. Feel the warmth of your hand soothing your body. Bring to mind what you're thankful for. Let's take a really audible breath. And now for Shavasana, what I'm going to recommend is that you either sit in meditation. It's going to be very brief, just about 2 minutes or so for corpse pose, 2 or 3 minutes. Or you can sit in meditation or lie on your back. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to lie on my stomach. Because for me, lying on the stomach, for all of us, it's very, very grounding. And lying on the stomach helps to activate the parasympathetic, the rest or digest. And we all need that. I know we all need a little more soothing time right now. So on the stomach really helps that. And then you can turn your head to one side so you get a bit of a neck release if you're on your stomach. Whatever you've chosen for yourself, let it be enough. You've done enough. Right? You've done enough. You're doing enough. Just let go. Let go of your breath. Let go of how you think you should look right now. Let go of any final bits of tension in the body. And if you have your head turned to one side, just gently turn to the other side. And you can stay exactly as you are, or you could meet me in a seated position if you're not already there. Please just stay where you feel comfortable. Finishing the practice with gratitude. Let's be thankful that we can connect in this way. And let's be thankful that we have so many blessings. I know sometimes we lose sight of that, but our practice is here to remind us that we are really blessed. Thank you for participating. Thanks for practicing with me. Namaste, everyone. Thank you. Same